guys, JP here. In this week's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the 5 reasons why I chose the Chevy Corvette as my go-to sports car. Now, I compared it against the Porsche 911, the Cayman, the F-Type, as well as the Nissan GT-R, but I kept coming back to the C7 Corvette as the right car for me. This week, I'm going to tell you why. One of the big selling points for me on the C7 was the redesigned interior. It's no secret that Chevrolet used to put some of the same buttons and materials in the lower end cars as they would their flagship sports car, the Corvette. Well, in 2014, the C7, they threw all of that out the window and built brand new from the ground up. It had a more driver-focused feel. You had the option to get some of the better materials like suede microfiber uppers, a fully wrapped leather interior with the 3LT package. You had new seats, new steering wheel. They even did away with the parking brake. They even redesigned it so that it's all electronic now, which some people like, some people don't. I don't really mind it until something goes wrong, obviously. One of the big selling points for me on this car was the Kalahari colored interior. I really like the look of that against the dark blue paint, so that was one of the big selling points for me. The exterior design of the C7 Stingray is so different from the smooth and timeless design of the C6 that it was bound to turn some heads. You do have the Stingray name, so you have the characteristically large front fenders and long hood up front. You also have a pretty aggressive wing on the Z51 package. You have aggressive looking vents on the side, which are functional. They are used to cool portions of the vehicle. And in one of the most controversial moves, the C7 Corvette ushered in angular taillights instead of the iconic circular taillights. Many Corvette purists were pretty upset by this move, but it was a move done to bring in younger buyers, and I think it's worked. Twin turbos and inline sixes are all well and good, but some people just need a V8 paired with a manual transmission and a big growly exhaust, and that was me. The 6.2 liter V8 in this car is capable of 460 horsepower and 465 foot-pounds of torque when paired with the performance exhaust, which I happen to have. Now, the performance exhaust is pretty neat because it's actually very versatile. It has butterfly valves in there, and depending on which mode you're in, it'll either shut off 2 of those valves or open 2 of those valves. So if you're in track or sport, it's going to be louder than if you're in touring or eco. Despite having the big V8 and all the horsepower, you can still get 30 miles per gallon out of this car if you're in eco mode. Eco mode makes cylinder deactivation an option. So if you're cruising down the highway and you don't need all 8 cylinders, it'll cut off 4 of them. Then you've essentially got a 4-cylinder engine pulling you down the road. I've used it a couple times on some long trips, and I've been able to get 28, 29 miles per gallon. It's pretty cool technology. I've always liked the look of the Nissan GT-R. Nissan mentions that the GT-R is a supercar and it has several special systems and special requirements that can only be worked on by a certified GT-R Nissan dealer. During my research before I purchased my car, I had read several stories where maintenance costs were astronomical, some of these coming before the 20,000 mile mark. I believe I saw somewhere where a set of brakes and rotors, non-OEM brakes and rotors, were around $4,000. The combination of the special required services plus the high price of replacement parts led me away from the Nissan GT-R. It's a similar story for the 911. Routine scheduled maintenance can run into the thousands of dollars per year. At $400 a pop for an oil change, it doesn't take long to get there. If you recall in a previous video that Adam did on daily driving a 911, I believe his maintenance costs for the first year were around $3,800. Now granted, this included some milestone services, like for the 20,000 and 30,000 mile, and it did include some tires. But if you multiply that out over year, it won't take long to get to a pretty big number. That kind of eliminated Porsche for me. Dealerships actually played a role in my decision to purchase my C7 Corvette. Yes, I'm about to say something positive about a car dealership. Had I purchased a GT-R or 911, I would need to take it to a certified GT-R Nissan dealer or a certified Porsche dealer to have it worked on. The closest one of those to me is about an hour and a half away. With my Chevrolet, I can take it to any Chevy dealer and they can perform any maintenance necessary. That's not only convenient, that's also peace of mind in case I'm out 1,000 miles away from my home and I have some sort of an issue. I can easily get it worked on and get it fixed. I considered several different sports cars before making my purchase. I looked at the Nissan GT-R. As I said earlier, I've always been a fan. And when it was first introduced in 2008, the difference between a base model GT-R and a Corvette Z06 was about $2,000, roughly 70 grand. Now, if you look at a base model GT-R, you're just over 100,000. That's obviously out of my price range. To purchase a GT-R in my price range, I'm looking at one 5 to 6 years old with a decent amount of miles, and that just didn't feel like the right move. As we look across the Porsche lineup, I could have probably gotten a Porsche Cayman, a new one, for about the same price as a Corvette. But to me, that's not really apples to apples. It's two different experiences. So I thought, why not look at a used 911? A used 911 in my realistic price range was going to be either a 3-year-old high mileage car or a 5 to 6-year-old moderate mileage car. Now granted, you are going to get the Porsche brand, you're going to get the heritage, you're going to get the tradition. But for me, it's more about the driving experience that I have when I'm in the car. I don't care if I walk into my dealer and they greet me with a, "Hey, Mr. JP, how are you this morning?" just as they're getting ready to charge me $400 for an oil change. So in this instance, Corvette won out. The Corvette offered the best value of any of the cars that I really compared it against. Yes, it's the old bang for your buck argument for the Corvette once again. But when you look at the 3LT package and all the options that you get, the suede leather uppers, the fully leathered out interior, the Kalahari package, or the Kalahari leather, which I absolutely love, it really was, it puts it on par with some of its competition from Europe and some of the Jaguars of their class. It's really a great car and a lot of car for the money. Before my purchase, I focused on the driving experience and what car would give me the best opportunity to get that every weekend. The sound, the feel, the acceleration, all the things that go into making a normally boring road exciting. That's what I wanted from my sports car search. The Corvette was the perfect mix of power, technology, and styling that gave me that perfect feeling every weekend. So for me, the Corvette was the way to go. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave them below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And until next time, thanks.